A place called Holyoke, which I've never heard of before. I think it's in Massachusetts. It's a city. Something crazy happened. And a lot of people were involved in a very short amount of time. I'm going to keep this really brief, but I got to tell y'all this story about this young lady and her baby. It's just really tragic, but I'm going to try to keep it short. Some viewers may find the following content offensive and controversial. The information in this video comes from multiple sources, including court records, official police charges, news web articles, and interviews. This video commentary also contains my personal opinions about the facts of this story. The point is to use this story as a cautionary tale in hopes of preventing tragedies like these to children going forward. Viewer discretion is advised. That is your official disclaimer. So here we go. So Holyoke, I think it's Massachusetts. 2 Holyoke residents, and I think there's more people involved also, are facing accessory charges in connection with the fatal shooting of a pregnant woman's baby in that city earlier this month for allegedly helping one of the suspects who remains at large, authorities said on Tuesday. And I'm getting this story from bostonglobe.com, so thank you for the article. Hamden District Attorney Anthony D. Galini's office identified the suspects as Jose Galarza, who's 31 years old. Let me see if I could just show y'all all their pictures right here, because I don't know who's who. Jose Galarza, 31 years old. J. Marie Rosado Rosario, 29 years old. They're both charged with accessory after the fact of October the 4th shooting on Sargent Street, where a stray bullet struck the woman as she sat on a public bus claiming the life of her unborn child. Isn't that something, man? But that's the woman right there, man. She seems very beautiful woman, very sweet. Man, she's expected to survive, but her child did not survive. The woman, who was 8 months pregnant at the time of the shooting, was rushed to a hospital where she's listed at the time in critical condition. Her condition wasn't immediately available on Tuesday, but I think she's going to survive. She actually did an interview also. Galarza and Rosario, Galuni's office said, are charged as accessories for allegedly helping one of the shooting suspects, Kermith Alvarez, 28 years old, of Holyoke, evade capture. And I think that absolutely should be charged for that. Alvarez remains at large. 2 other men, John Luis Sanchez, 30 years old, and Alejandro Ramos, 22 years old, are currently held without bail on murder charges in connection with the shooting. They have pled not guilty. Prosecutors said that Ramos, Sanchez, and Alvarez were allegedly involved in a shooting altercation in the 100 block of Sargent Street around 12:38 p.m. on October the 4th. It's believed that one of the rounds from that altercation struck a public transportation bus and an uninvolved female occupant who was seated on the bus. According to Galuni's office, Rosado Rosario was arraigned Monday in Holyoke District Court, where she was ordered and held on a $5,000 bail, with her next court date slated for November the 17th. Galarza was arraigned Tuesday in Holyoke District Court, officials said. He pled not guilty and was ordered to be held on a $250,000 bond. If posted, he must be fitted with a GPS bracelet and must not leave Massachusetts, according to court records. Meanwhile, Alvarez, prosecutors said last week, is actively avoiding law enforcement. The firearm used in the incident has not been recovered, and he should be considered armed and dangerous. So I'm going to give you guys a fair usage, and I'm going to only play a couple of the news videos. So here we go. Fair use. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. As always, you guys can always help our mission by leaving a comment, posting, sharing, hitting a thumbs up. Super easy things to do. Share this in your favorite true crime group so more people can help grow our community. But leave a comment. Let me know what you think about this story. I got a couple of news videos. I'm going to speed through a couple of them so you don't have to watch them all.
Police have identified a third suspect in connection to last week's shooting in Holyoke, where a bullet went into a bus, hitting a pregnant woman. Her baby was later delivered, but did not survive.
Story as soon as possible, but moving on, the latest now on a shootout in Holyoke that happened on Wednesday, critically injuring a pregnant woman while riding a bus, leading to then the death of her baby.
Today, a second suspect charged with murder faced a judge, and Western Mass News reporter Daniel Santiago joins us live in studio. Daniel, what can you share from today's arraignment?
Chris, Abby, 30-year-old John Luis Sanchez is still in the hospital with injuries from the shooting, but he appeared before a judge virtually for arraignment today.
Friday's arraignment for 30-year-old John Luis Sanchez was held virtually since he remains hospitalized with injuries from Wednesday's shooting in downtown Holyoke around lunchtime. He's the second suspect connected to the shooting of an innocent bystander, an 8 months pregnant woman on a PVTA bus. Her baby later died.
The Commonwealth would request that the defendant, now charged with first-degree murder, be held without the right to bail without prejudice at this time.
Sanchez will remain in custody, just like the first suspect, Alejandro Ramos, who was arraigned on Thursday. Also addressed in court, an open firearms case against Sanchez.
The defendant had an open case at the time of his arrest. It should be in your file.
Charlie, your position on that?
I'm not in a position to argue a judge because I don't have any discovery, so if that's just allowed without prejudice.
Western Mass News digging deeper obtained the court documents in this open case. We found he was arrested on September 19th in Holyoke. Charges include carrying a firearm and ammunition without a license and drug possession. We also found other cases dating back to 2014. That year, he was charged with domestic assault and battery and intimidation of a witness. In 2017, he was arrested for carrying a firearm and ammunition without a license and served time. And in 2018, he was arrested on an assault and battery charge that he eventually pled guilty to this past May.
Sanchez is scheduled back in court on November 3rd. Now coming up at 6, the community-wide effort to help the injured mother who lost her baby in the tragic shooting. Reporting live.
Thank you, Daniel, for that report. A march in Holyoke today to raise awareness for violence prevention just days after a shooting.
I got the notification.
Western Mass News showing the moments that played out before the shooting happened. Investigators say
This wasn't a targeted act. She was an innocent bystander on that bus. She was doing nothing wrong, just sitting there, and it claimed the life of her baby.
Check out this surveillance camera video obtained by Western Mass News showing the moments that played out before the shooting happened. Investigators say 3 men got into a fight when those shots rang out. In the aftermath of the shooting, Rivera and those participating in the march are calling for an increased police presence on city streets and asking the Holyoke community to step up and get involved to prevent more violent crimes from claiming innocent lives.
No one shouldn't.
29-year-old Selena Santana said last Thursday was a typical day for her. She was riding a bus, running an errand for her older son, when gunfire changed the course of her life forever. She shared her story with me today.
I don't think it's fair. I wasn't doing anything. I don't run the streets. I was with my family running an errand for my oldest son, and to have my baby taken away, it's not fair.
Selena Santana is still at Bay State Medical Center, recovering after getting shot while riding a bus with her family, when an argument broke out between 3 men, one who was still on the loose. She not only has physical wounds from the gunshots, but mental wounds from the loss of her baby boy, who was going to be named Ezekiel Ramon Garcia. These wounds are still very raw.
When I woke up, I was in a hospital bed with a tube in my throat, and the first thing I did was go looking for my stomach, and I didn't feel it in my stomach. I couldn't breathe, I couldn't talk because of the tube, and I had to write on a paper asking, where's my son if he was alive? And they told me no.
Santana said she was shot twice, one bullet ending up in her leg, the other hitting the baby she was carrying in the chest. She said since her uterus has been shot, she is unable to have any more children. Santana said this has been hard on her family. Her fiancé, children, and other family members visit when they can.
We're just basically waiting so that I can get the clearance to go home so I can bury my baby.
And Santana has set up a GoFundMe page to help with the funeral expenses. We'll have a link to that on our website, wwlp.com.
Even hearing this a second and third time, that's still very hard to hear. It's hard to listen to. And in a situation like this, I think this is a perfect GoFundMe to support. So if you guys can go to that website, if you want to find it and support that GoFundMe. I'm not against GoFundMe. I'm just against people in certain situations where they could potentially be taken advantage if they are the perpetrators of violence with these GoFundMes. It's not the case here with this situation. She was completely innocent. And being at the right place at the wrong time, just with these freaking idiots and with them trying to give them a murder charge. Oh, I wholeheartedly agree with them getting a murder charge, but I would absolutely support a GoFundMe like hers with this mother, the loss of her baby, and anything that they give from the heart. I think that would just be awesome, you know. So prayers, condolences to the mother. Hope that she makes a full recovery. The loss of her kid is just really, really sad, man. But I hope that she gets the justice that she deserves, and everybody else who was involved. Hope that these people get maximum sentences, because they all deserve it. Especially try to help the ones that did this escape. So definitely, we hope to get justice here. And whenever we see that justice happen, however long it takes, we hope that that happens. But prayers to the mother and her family and the rest of her children and her family and her fiance also. Let me know what you guys think about this story. I think that this is absolutely despicable, that anybody who helps aid and abet criminals should get a bunch of time in prison also. From my heart to yours. I love you all. Thank you guys so much for listening. We'll see you guys on the next story. Unfortunately, we got a lot more coming, okay? More to talk about. Like, share, subscribe, AFC Podcast. Share with your local true crime groups, and let's support this community, okay? Thank you so much.